Hello everyone, and thank you for coming to my next video. Now, in this video I'm actually going to be teaching you how to decompile a map from any game that you like and get it working for Source Filmmaker. Now, I make this tutorial because a lot of people ask me to decompile maps and things like that and basically get them work for Source Filmmaker, even though it's rather easy to do. So I thought I'd make a tutorial since someone recently requested me to decompile the map right here, which is CTF outset. So I thought I would just record myself doing it so everyone will then understand how it works. Now, first things first, with basically making a map work for Source Filmmaker, you need to decompile it and get the hammer file, essentially, and on top of that, all of the textures and things like that. So I will have a decompiler in the description below if you want. Well, obviously this is the decompiler I use, and it pretty much works for everything. There's literally not a map I couldn't decompile with it, so it is the best decompiler I've currently used. So all you just gotta do is click on it and add the file, and this is the file we're going to be decompiling. And I've already edited this map and everything, so I'm just going to delete these files so we can start from scratch. Now, on the BSP source right here, you want to go over to textures, make sure everything's looking nice over here. Oh yeah, also on other, make sure you tick this extract embedded files because we want everything from this thing. So just, scroll around, see if there's everything looks fine. So we can just press this decompile button. It's going to ask us where do we want to toss those files, and I want to toss them into my decompiled folder right here. And just like that, it just pulled out all of the models, all of the materials, pretty much everything that calls home to this model. Now, to this map. So I can just close out of that. It didn't take too long, less than 2 seconds. And there's the hammer file that I'm going to be opening, and this is all the materials and models that came from this. Now, a forewarning, when it comes to water, sometimes the water texture may not properly work in your exported file, so I actually need to edit this back to that. There we go. Okay, so sometimes your water may get wonky and just kind of broken. And one of the things I did as a workaround, because I really didn't want to go through all of the junk here, is instead I just grabbed their old version of the water and then pasted it over what the current texture is. And the old one works just fine. So I just did that and saved it. So that's pretty much all done. We need to go into our Team Fortress folder, or actually the bin of the Team Fortress folder, because I'm going to be compiling under Team Fortress 2. It doesn't need to be opened or edited through Source Filmmaker to make it usable for Source Filmmaker, but you can if you want to. I'm just going to go into Steam Apps Common, Team Fortress 2 bin, and then click Hammer here, and it should ask me which game I want to load it under. I have multiple games because I think I edited my game config to something specific, or to contain multiple games basically. So you don't need to worry about that. It should just say Team Fortress 2 maybe, but if it doesn't, then just make sure to click Team Fortress 2 and click OK. And here we come into the world of Hammer. Hammer is a horrible tool, and it's bound to make you very angry, so I'm hoping that, Source 2, or Hammer 2, whatever they want to call it, comes out soon, because supposedly that one actually works pretty well. So, what we're going to need to do is just open this file. Not that hard. Should take a few minutes depending on your system, how it loads everything into the world. Yours may not look like mine. I have a 3D skin where it textures everything for me, and the only reason it's texturing things for me is because I probably should have brought that up. In Team Fortress TF, I actually copied the models and materials, copy and pasted them into this folder, so basically I have the props and the materials here. So then as soon as I went into Hammer, it allowed me to see all of the textures in game. So also you need to go to View and tick 3D textured polygons, because it'll probably be in 2D, or maybe even 3D wireframe, something like that. So you just want to make sure it's clicked on textured polygons here. Now, we can export it literally right now straight to Source Filmmaker if we wanted to, with no edits at all. It's pretty much that simple. All you need to do is go to File, Run Map, make sure you tick HDR. You can put the Run Rad on Fast and the Run Viz on Fast, because if you put it on Normal, it's gonna throw more calculations. Before for like really low-end systems, it's gonna take forever, and there's a higher possibility of crashing when it's trying to run these mathematical processes of where lights are basically refracting off of each surface that's within the map. Now, it's not needed in a sense. It can improve the quality, but most of your lighting that you're processing in Source Filmmaker is coming from lights that you yourself spawned into the world. But that's only if you compiled this map without any lights, which I'll teach you how to do. See, if we compile this right now, it would be using a world light. The world light's a set light that can't be turned off and can't be changed. It's pretty much all those maps that you've ever used in any of the Source Filmmakers, you know, like 2Fort and things like that. So those are world lights, and you can't delete world lights. Or at least, you can't delete it in Source Filmmaker, but you can delete it in Hammer. So if you want to export it right now, that's cool. You can just do that. But let's say if you wanted to make a Source Filmmaker _ night. You wanted to make a night variant of this, or even a no light version of this variant. That's pretty easy to do as well. Making it nighttime is far easier than making it a no light, and they're kind of the same really, but making it a no light's a little bit more complex because you want to mess with the skyboxes and things like that. But this is the culprit for most of your lighting. It's a light entity, or a light environment. And if you want to make it night, usually you just double click on this and then you edit the brightness color of it, and it allows you to pick the color and things like that. So that's all you need to edit if you want it to make it like night. You know, you can it's always like nights are the blues, make it a harsher blue, something like that, you know. And that's how you essentially create a night map. And to ensure that you're editing everything, you want to go to edit, map entity report. And this will basically tell you that's every entity that's currently calling this map home. And as you can see, we have 2 light environments. That's bad, because that means there are 2 separate entities on this map that are causing the world to be lit. And where'd you go? There you are, light environment. So there's 2 of these. And it's easy to find them. You can just click this one and then go to, and then it'll warp you to where it is. So you can easily edit these things, you know, back and forth, zoop, like that. You just click instant like that. So you want to make this a no light map? Well, this is pretty easy. You just delete them. You delete this light, you delete that light, and essentially on a no light map, you want to delete every single light. So even these regular lights, which are spawned like from, you know, these props and things like that, you just want to find everything that's a light. I'm just going to scroll down until it stops saying light, hold shift, and then left click. Or actually, oh my bad, I accidentally pressed control. So make sure you're highlighted on one, find the end, and then hold shift, click, and then it'll select all of them. And you just delete them. And just like that, all of the lights are gone from the map. Now, now to make it a no light map, it needs to have at least 1 light, because without at least 1 light, it won't be able to have the mathematical process of what happens when light is present in the map. And so you need a light. An easy way to do this is just go somewhere that's really secluded, where you know no one's probably going to be, and relatively out in the open. It doesn't need to be, but that's just like, I guess, a thing that I learned. I just do that. So I feel like out here, no one's probably gonna notice. You pop a little guy right there, click on this, and then double click him to bring up a spawn here, and then change that to light. Oops. And then click that, and then apply it, and then it should give you a little light bulb here, and that's basically your light. This light is gonna be here, and as soon as you compile this map, it's gonna start throwing light rays all over the map. So then when it does its little mathematical processes of what happens to light, it should be able to accurately get you some good lighting here, and no one will notice it there off in the distance there when they're making or using it for Source Filmmaker. At least you'd hope they won't. But that's one reason why when you go to the black void in Source Filmmaker, there's that one light in the corner, is because you have to have that light there. Even Valve knows you have to have that light there, otherwise it won't be able to process light that will be coming into your map. Either by once you've spawned, or, well, I guess that's the only ones that you would have, but it wouldn't understand what light's doing unless the processors were already there. So, we could export this right now, but any good mapper, even a half-assed one like me, you always want to like clear out things that seem they're not essential basically to the world. You know, you gotta assume if someone's gonna be using this map, they're probably gonna be making something interesting, and like things like this, you probably don't want those. So you just want to just delete these things out. You know, extra props like this, I know I wouldn't want them. Maybe you can keep these seats around, or like you definitely want to delete these though. That's me personally. I want a clean map, you know, none of this little tiny things and stuff like that. Maybe the lights, overhead lights, I'd keep. But other than that, I want everything clear. Hell, I'd probably even delete these doors if I wanted. But I'm gonna leave them there because cleaning up maps takes a little bit of time. It's not a time consumer, but you know. I'm just looking at, trying to think if there's any other entities I should keep in mind of, but I don't think there is. I know there is going to be a problem though with, I already compiled this map before, so I already know there's a problem with these banks, well, at least the banks on the outer skirts. For some reason they didn't come out properly, so rather than keep them, I just deleted them, and they're not even, it doesn't take away any of the quality of the map, because I'm keeping all the banking here, but you would understand if you've seen a different version of this map, because like when it hits the end of the world right here, that's essentially the end of the world. It had this weird lighting issue just for those few pieces of map. So yeah, this is it. I'm just gonna compile this. One thing I might want to add on map properties here, this is how you can change the skybox's name, which is the texture it's using. So, but I'm just gonna compile it as is to show you what's kind of a problem when you do no light maps, and it's basically the skybox's texture, which again, if you've seen tutorials that I've made, like the image ones, you know how to change those. But I'm gonna run the map. I'm going to, yeah, everything's there. I'm just gonna click OK, and as soon as it's done compiling, I'm gonna teach you guys how to put all of those materials and models back in to the map, so you don't have to have people downloading those extra files. So I'll see you then. Alright, and in less than 4 minutes or so, it looks like everything is done with the compiling process. So next thing we need to do is pack all this stuff into one, so you know people don't have to download additional things, you know, all be in one map basically. And for that we're going to be using PackRat, another good program. Just click on this, it'll be down in the description below for anyone who's wondering. And now I need to find the map. This was, yeah, CTF D. There you are. Select that. Click Add. Make sure you're in your decompiled folder. Select this entire thing that was decompiled out of it. Click Open. Press Yes to all. And there we go, it'll force everything to be tossed in there. You can file, save BSP, give it a custom name if you want, but I like to warn, make sure you have the .bsp at the end, otherwise it will not be a BSP file. I don't know why it does that, but whatever. Call it SFM underscore outset underscore no light. Now I'm just going to save that. And it's all done. We can just go into our Team Fortress TF maps, and it'll be located here. Unless you use the different hammer editor, then it should probably be located. If you use the Source Filmmaker one, it'll be located, I'm pretty sure, in Source Filmmaker user mods maps. So go to Common, Source Filmmaker, Game, User Mods, and I'm just going to drag this right into the maps folder. We can close out of all of this. I'm gonna load it up, or I'm gonna have to log into the Steam, and then I will show you guys the map in Source Filmmaker. So I'm gonna cut this real quick so we don't need to wait around. Alright, so I'm in Source Filmmaker and I'm currently loading Outset No Light. It should take maybe a few minutes, hoping it won't take too long. And once I'm done showing you the general problems with some of the no light maps, is, again, your product may vary depending on, you know, how the skybox was made, different things like that. Usually it comes down to your own personal troubleshooting of how you get past the problems. Can't really teach everyone everything, but, you know, it's always a good learning experience. And once I'm done with that, I will show you the main map, which I compiled a few days ago for the request, and I just decided now to record how I did it. So I'll probably be giving out the no light version as well, but from my drive, because I don't want people having it, basically. I mean, not that I'm like selfish or anything, I just don't. It's not like I didn't clear out most of the stuff that I wanted to, but it'll just be a good show through for anyone. So this is one problem. I had to turn off the lights. So there we go. Turn it back on. As you can see, there is no lights here, but because the skybox itself is a texture that emulates a light, it seems like it's a light, but it's actually not. As you can see, it's not lighting anything, but because it's really colorful, it's automatically assumed that it's a light. So, I mean, it depends on how you use it. It's not bad. If you made like a really big light, which, I don't know, you could probably make it seem like it was some kind of sunrise or something like that here. Man, that skybox is really small. But, I'd have to... Oh yeah, I definitely would have to edit all this stuff. Basically to make one of those really big lights. You've seen those big lights before. As far as the A10, definitely. But, you could probably make something like that. And if you wanted to change the skybox's thing, all you need to use is sky name. Or SV underscore sky name. SV underscore sky name. And I don't know sky names off the top of my head, so I don't know. Anyways, I don't know any skyboxes off the top of my name, but I basically had a tutorial basically explaining how to do stuff like that. But it does work. The water works exceptionally well, actually, after the fix. Before the fix, it's like all black. But let me actually load up the legitimate map, which is Outset. Again, maybe I'll work on the no light one so it works properly, but this is the Outset as is. Oh, well, whoops. That's a bit of a lighting glitch. It seems like it didn't like me deleting that light. Let's turn you off. Trying to break my map. There we go. Okay. So this is just the Outset map as is. You can see it's working perfectly fine in Source Filmmaker. You can have, you know, whatever models you want. Let's get a pinky or something. So many models. Alright, so yeah, as you can see, works perfectly fine. I think I forced... Oh, I didn't force expensive, or did I? Looks like the water... I'm trying to see if the water is reflecting her character. Because I thought I... Oh crap, I don't think I forced... Oops. I don't think I forced the map to do that. Yeah, damn it, I forgot to do that. Well, I guess I'm going to be releasing this map anyways. But... call that half-ass or whatever, but damn, I should have did that. That's gonna piss me off a little bit now, because I didn't do that. It's reflecting the world, but it's not reflecting local models, which it should have, because I thought I forced expensive reflections and reflect entities, but it's not doing it. So maybe that was a problem, either in the compiling, which I think it was, and it was probably the materials. I forgot to set the correct thing, but everything's working here. I removed the Team Fortress stuff from this version. Like, none of that stuff's here except for the chairs. I left the chairs because I was thinking maybe someone would want to use the chairs for something. But as far as like definitive Team Fortress junk, I took that all out. I'm trying to make it as bare as possible. And yeah, that's generally as basic as it gets when it comes to compiling a map for Source Filmmaker. Of course, you know, if you wanted reflecting water, there's just a few commands for things like that, and it's just like, I'm kind of mad. Honestly, I'm just a little bit mad right now that I didn't double check that, and I'll probably update the file or something like that later, but bleh, don't got time for that. But anyways, hopefully you guys learned something and you'll be able to decompile and make all the Source Filmmaker maps that you want. Because, again, as you can see, it wasn't that hard. And definitely use PackRat, because I know there's a lot of people who are able to, you know, get the map working for Source Filmmaker, but they had, like, separate models and materials, and, no one wants to deal with that, right? So now you know how to pack them up as well, so... yeah, that is, that's all I can think of. My next tutorial, or actually I already recorded it, but I didn't voice over it yet, is how to use Wallworm when exporting models. So yeah, hopefully you guys will be seeing that soon. As always, don't comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next tutorial.